Hey everybody, it's time to play some Tomb Raider, the Crypt of Chronos. I've got my board set up over here. We're going to do mission 1 on this video today, and assuming all goes well, we'll continue to do some more missions. I'm sure mission 1 is going to be fairly achievable, but I've got this set up here where I've got my camera number 1 looking down at the main board, and then camera number 2 here is going to be free camming so that we can look at the different elements of the board. So let me show you the setup. So down here we've got the Lara board. I've got the hidden and seen token on hidden, because you start on hidden unless specified otherwise. My health is at maximum, number 10. I have the dual pistols with the counter on 4 ammo. Those are my 6 starting abilities as you will have. The crafting bench set up with the 6 special dice as well. I have included in here the additional cards from the expansion, so like the revolver for example is in there, so that's going to be pretty fun. And then over here is map number 1. When I show you the campaign book, I'll show you how this is set up, but you can see we've got Lara over there, we've got a snake over there, then we've got an artifact, a door, a switch, and then the exit is over there. And then the rest of the board is just kind of set up as needs be. I've got the standard enemies for the wildlife here, the wolf and the snake, the event and the research decks, and then this stuff over here is all island adventure related, so it's not really needed for this, but I set it up just to have it in a complete state. And then over here I've got the noise token, the Lara dice, somewhere to roll the dice, the enemy dice over there as well, and then the bag of resources. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to turn this upside down so we've got the gameplay quick guide, just in case I need that. And then let's have a look at the campaign book. So this just, or adventure book, this just explains how everything works. So let's first of all read the preamble. For years, I've been captivated by the legend of Kairos, a mysterious island said to appear only once every 2 centuries. Stories claim it's the resting place of the Chronos artifact, a relic of unimaginable power, capable of manipulating time itself. Every clue I've unearthed, every fragment of the myth, has only deepened my curiosity and belief that there's truth behind it. Now, the island is rumoured to have reappeared once more, and I can't help but feel this might be the moment to finally uncover whether the legend is fact or fantasy. But my research has also uncovered something far more troubling. Natla Tech, the shadowy organisation I've crossed paths with before, is also preparing to journey to Kairos. Their interest in the artifact is no surprise. Its power is exactly the kind of thing they'd use to rewrite history and undo their failures. If the Chronos artifact is real, I can't let that happen. As I journey towards the island's fabled location, I'm astounded to find it is in fact real. Now I have no choice but to act. I need to reach Kairos and secure the artifact before Natla Tech can claim it. The protectors, the island's indigenous guardians, oppose the invaders, but they're outmatched. Natla Tech's military forces won't hesitate to crush anything or anyone that gets in their way. This is no ordinary expedition. The island is a labyrinth of treacherous terrain, ancient traps, and secrets hidden deep within its heart. Navigating it will be dangerous enough, but with Natla Tech's forces closing in, every moment counts. Time is slipping through my fingers, and with it, the chance to stop Natla Tech. I've faced them before and won, but this time the stakes are higher than ever. I cannot let the artifact fall into their hands. I'm not just racing against time, I'm fighting to protect it. So pretty cool, we got like a whole story here. This is basically like, you know, this could have been a video game, but they made it into a board game, so yeah, I think that's really cool. Also, if you can hear snoring, my cat is asleep. Okay, chapter 1, welcome to Kairos. So we're at the start of the adventure here. You can see here it says just arrived over here, and this is a jungle location. So it says here, I step onto the shore of the island of Kairos, heart pounding as the jungle looms ahead. With the sun rising behind me, I plunge into the dense foliage, ready for whatever lies in wait. So this is the setup that we have here. You've got the start and the end over there. That's obviously how I have set up the board. So with the individual tiles, they have numbers, and the location of the number indicates the orientation that you lay them out. We've got different kinds of terrain, so we've got this sort of low terrain, which is the bushes and trees. You've got the high terrain, which are these like higher elevated ground. These are like unpassable places, so we can't go through these. And then there's some things like locked doors and whatnot. Okay, so my objectives here, I have these 3 objectives. This over here also means that this would become an invaded level if I have 3 of these Natla pins, but I don't have any of them, so I'm okay for the time being. So we have to collect the artifact, search at least once, and then research at least once. So I think we should be able to do those things. It says down here as well, you must reach the switch, then spend a dice to open the door. Once you reach the artifact, spend a dice to collect it, brackets, remove it from the tiles. You need to perform the search and research actions, but it doesn't matter if they fail. Once all objectives are complete, head to the exit. If tile 9 has no enemies, then you may escape and collect your reward. Interesting, you need to do the actions, but you don't actually need to succeed, which I think is a bit weird. There's the reward for resources, and then these are some challenge modes down here that you can take on, but we won't be doing those today. We'll stick to the standard game. So this is actually my first ever game, so you'll have to excuse me if I go slowly over some things. I guess we'll be playing through it together, and then if I do videos with future chapters, it should be a lot easier to follow and a lot quicker as well. Okay, so turn goes into 3 different phases. We have the Lara phase, the enemy phase, and then the event phase at the end. So let's make a start, shall we? We start down here. So you've got 6 Lara dice that you can use however you want, and you can choose to roll as many of these dice as you want against each of these actions. So your turn basically ends when you have spent all of your dice. So move is quite an easy one. You move 1 space per dice plus, and then if you actually get an action, which is the hourglass, then you can move up to 1 space. Climbing costs 2 moves, and then jumping is 3 moves, which is jumping from one high ground to another. So probably we want to move, because what we're trying to do is we need to get this artifact over here, which means we need to get to the switch that's over there. So we probably just need to move forward, but we need to bear in mind there is a snake here, so we do need to be careful of him. So as it's pretty straightforward, I think we'll use 3 dice to move. So I'm going to roll these. See, what do we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4 hourglasses, pretty good, which means we're able to move 4 spaces plus an extra 4 spaces for each of those. Pretty awesome. So you can't move diagonally in this game, so we'll be moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, one thing to bear in mind as well is that there is a cone of visibility, I guess, or like a range that the enemies can see, and it is 1 wide either side, and then I think it's 6 forward. So this snake can see everything that's forward in this direction. So by standing here, I'm safe, but if I was to go like here, I would not be. All right, so we've used 3 of our dice, so we can still use 3 more. So I guess it's up to us whether we want to try moving again or whether we want to search or research. So we're quite close to the lever. I think I'll roll 2 more for movement. So if we just roll those, get a double and a break, but that's okay. We can ignore the break, so we can move. I rolled 2 dice and got double, so we can move 4 spaces. So I can go 1 onto the high ground. No, you won't be able to see the high ground because they can't look it up. So that cost me 3, and then 4 to move next to the switch. Now I actually have 1 dice left, and as the book said, I can use 1 dice, or spend 1 dice rather, to open the door. So I'm going to do exactly that. I've got my 1 last dice there. I'm going to flip the switch over here and use that to flip the door open. So that means that now I can make my way down over there and get to the artifact. So that's Lara's phase over. With the crafting stuff, you can choose to craft using resources, but I haven't earned any resources yet, so nothing to worry about just yet. All right, it's the enemy phase. So the snake, we're going to stick with a standard card for now. He can move 4 spaces on its turn. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And because I'm on the high ground, they can't see me, and so I'm not in any danger as yet. They are the only enemy on the board, so we will keep going. Now we get to draw 1 event card. And here we have Tripwire. So we have 2 options here. We can either trigger the Tripwire, take 1 damage and also make noise where I am, or I can break the Tripwire, which would remove 2 bits of scrap. Now I don't have 2 bits of scrap, So I think I pretty much have no choice but to trigger the tripwire, so let's go with that. So when taking damage, you can actually do a dodge roll used during enemy or event phase, and I can use a dice to try to avoid the damage. However, I will then not be able to use that dice on the next turn, so it's a case of whether I want to, you know, retain my health or not. I think for the purpose of demonstration, let's do that. Let's use 1 Lara dice. Okay, so let's roll that, and we didn't get anything. So sadly, it says user discounted. So I still lose that 1 dice. I'll put these ones back over here. And that just means I take the damage. So we go over here, and we'll move that onto the 9. So I've gone down by 1. And also it says here about making noise. So I'll take my noise token, and I'll put that where I am, just there. So that means that there is now noise coming from there. So I am still hidden, so because the snake can't see me, but now there is noise coming from over there. When it's the next enemy phase, the snake will head towards it. So I just need to make sure that I make a move before that happens. All right, let's put our event in the discard pile. So not great, but not too terrible. And now it is my turn again. So I flip the switch, and now I just need to make my way over to the gate over there without being seen. Probably the safest bet is to jump this gap. You see how there are 2 high grounds with a single low ground between them. You can actually use the jump move to do that. And as it says on the move board, a jump costs 3 moves. But I think that's what we need to do. So let's use 4 dice. Got to make sure we get all those movements. Okay, so we've got 1, 2 from the dice. Not great, but included with the 4 that you get as a standard, that means I get 6 moves. So I can go 1, and then jump across there. That's 4 in total, and then 5, 6. So I'm on the high ground, and I am safe for now. All right, I still have 1 dice left, and I can decide now what I want to do with it, whether I want to keep moving, or whether I want to do like another action, like a search or a research. I think I should be safe up here, because even if the snake gets up on the high ground, it's not going to turn to see me because it will go towards the noise token. And even if it could see me, there's not really much it can do about it as long as I'm on the high ground. So I think for now, I will do a search action. So here it says can only be used once per Lara phase. That's fine, we've only got 1 dice anyway. And you get +1, not relic, it's like a resource, per one of these that you get, but you need to roll 3 for the +3. So basically the most I can get is 1 from this roll, but that's absolutely fine. Let's make that happen, fingers crossed. And we got a 2, which is, you know, overkill, but it means we get 1 resource from the bag, so let's do that. And we get 1 copper. Sorry, it's not copper, it's oil. I was holding it this way, thinking it's copper. It's oil. Right, that makes way more sense. So oil you can use in a few different ways. You can use 1 oil and 1 scrap to craft 5 bullets. You can also use oil with a cloth to get a health pack, which gives you 3 health back. Or you can do, where is it, 5 of them to make an ability card. So I've just got to keep a hold of this one for now. I'll just put it over here. All right, that's the end of the Lara phase. So when it comes to the enemy phase, we've still only got the 1 enemy on the board for now, and that's the snake. He still has a movement of 4, and he's moving towards the noise that I heard over here. So it moves forward onto the noise. That costs it 2 because it had to jump up, and the noise is now dispersed. It's come to where the noise came from, and there was nothing there. So he has 2 move left. He's going to keep moving forward 1 space. And then the rules stipulate that if they hit something like an obstacle that they can't go around, like this gap here, then they would rotate 90 degrees clockwise and then continue moving as much as they can. So he's now over there, which is interesting because whilst he's not a threat to me, he's moving this way and I'm moving this way, I will eventually need to come over this way. So there is still a chance that he could do something. And there's also a chance that the event deck can mess me up right now. All right, there's still an enemy on the board. This is why it's kind of good to keep at least 1 enemy around if it can be kept away from you, because if there are no enemies on the board, you have to draw 2 event cards, which we don't want. All right, for this one, we found a resource. This is a good card, removed from the event deck after use. So this, rather than going into the discard pile, gets removed from the game for the rest of the campaign, if I choose to take this. But there's not really any reason not to take it. because if we get onto an invaded level later, then I drop 3 resources and take 4 damage, so I really don't want to do that. Let's just, you know, look the gift horse right in the mouth, take our gift. That doesn't make sense, does it? Oh well, we're doing it anyway. So back to our bag of stuff. We'll take 2 things, and we have a treasure, and we have scrap. So treasure can count as one of anything at any time, so that's pretty useful stuff. Nice variety there. All right, so that's the event and the enemy phase. So now it's back to Lara. I have all of my dice back because I didn't use them for anything this round, so I have 6 dice to spend how I want. Now I still need to make it down to this artifact, so I think I'm going to make my way over there. So let's roll 4 dice. Right, there we go. So we've got, oh, that was an appalling roll. Oh geez. All right, so we still move 4 spaces because we rolled 4 dice and it's a move action, but because I got no additional actions, that means I actually make a noise on my starting space, which is not ideal, but you know, the game is what it is. So I put that where I started, and then I get to move 1, 2, 3, 4. When it comes to the snake enemy, he's now going to move towards the noise on my next turn. Or on his next turn, rather. Alright, we have 2 dice left. We're not really in any rush, so I'm going to use them to perform the research action. So we don't need to complete a full research, but I'm going to do it anyway. So it says, can only be used once per Lara phase. When all 3 cubes are placed, remove, and you get +1 research. So basically, you can get cubes on the board, you see these 3 spaces, and get research that way. But if you just roll a double straight up, then you can get +1 anyway. Right, let's roll our 2 remaining dice. Okay, here we go. And we got 1 and a broken. So if we come back down here, we just add 2 cubes to this. So for the Kickstarter, that's these little gem things down here. So we put 1 on the board like that, and then 1 next to it. Cool, and then I just need 1 more in order to complete the research. But either way, we have done a research and a search, so we have completed 2 of the 3 objectives over here, so now we just need to collect the artifact and get the heck out. So that's the Lara phase. Now we're going to move to the enemy phase. So it heard some noise over here, so it's going to turn around and make its way towards it. So it has 4 movement. It's going to go 1, 2, and then move down here to come up with the 4, because obviously that's jumping down a high ground, which costs 2. So it's now making its way towards the noise token, but it still has no line of sight of me at the moment, because it would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm not in its line of sight at present. All right, time for the event phase again. This time an enemy spawns, and it's a wildlife enemy. So I think we'll go for a wolf this time. What we do here is we roll the enemy die, and this helps us determine where it's going to spawn. Hopefully it doesn't spawn on 6, because that is right next to me, but we will see. It rolled on 1, and 1 is over there. So we get a wolf from the box. He's going to be over here, and he's actually staring right across where I'm about to pass. So he is about to see me, which there's not really much I can do about that unless I want to try shooting it next turn, which I may have to do. All right, cool, this is getting interesting now. So back to Lara's turn. I've got my 6 dice back. So what I probably want to do is kill this wolf, because it's going to see me anyway. And yeah, that's not really an ideal situation to be in. So the interesting thing about being seen, which I'm about to do in a moment, is that the snake will also now know my position, because it's in some sort of a wildlife hive mind, I suppose. According to the rules, I can't actually shoot across this, but it can see me across it, which is a bit annoying really, but I get where they're coming from here. So essentially I'm going to be seen, and it's going to have to run all the way around to come and get me. So probably going to end up funneling them into here, so that'll be interesting. But there's not much more we can do. So we need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to collect the artifact. So I think let's try with 2 dice and see how we get on. Okay, we got 3, which means we can move 5. So we go 1, and immediately once I move here, I can remove the noise token because I have been seen by the wolf. So just something to bear in mind. Right, so I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I need to collect the artifact. Okay, and then we take one of our Lara dice away, and that's how we collect the artifact. So we've now completed all 3 of the objectives, and we can start moving. One thing I realized I got wrong earlier was that you have to be standing on the switch in order to activate it, whereas I activated it whilst I was stood next to it. I don't think it makes a significant difference in terms of the action economy, but just so you know. Okay, so I have 3 dice left, and I'm now seen by this here wolfie, so I have to bear in mind the fact that they're going to come towards me. So there's a few different ways I can get out to my exit. I can go straight along here and go back the way I came, but that's likely where these enemies are going to come to me. Or I can go around the outside, which is probably the safer route. So I think now we're just going to need to roll for movement and try and get out of here. So if we take these 2 and we roll them, I got 1, but I rolled 3 dice. So I can move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would be the end of the Lara phase. All right, now it is the enemy phase. So you start from left to right when it comes to the enemy phase. So we'll be starting with the wolf over here. The wolf has the same movement as the snake. So it's going to turn 90 degrees. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, coming towards me. And then the snake will do the same, 1, 2, 3. Now it can't go up because it needs 2. And it can't pass through the wolf because it needs 2. So it's going to have to end its turn there. All right, now it's the event phase. Hopefully nothing new to spawn. Oh no, okay. Another wildlife spawn, and they're going to spawn on number 6, which is right behind me, but it is facing the other way. All right, there is our new enemy spawn, a wolf. Oh boy, looks like I'm going to have to start fighting, eh? So now it's the Lara phase again. So there's a few things you can do to fight back. There are melee attacks which you can use on an adjacent enemy at the same elevation. And it says, if the enemy is not defeated, end the Lara phase. This does not apply to bosses, obviously. Now the thing is, these have 3 health, and you do 1 damage per successful dice roll, because I have been seen. So if I were to attack it with a melee attack, I'd have to roll 3 of these hourglasses. And if I don't, then my entire turn ends. So it's quite a risky movement. If I use my guns, however, I'm more likely to be able to do some damage. So you roll dice in pairs, and then you can use ammo to increase your number of successes. This do 1 damage per shot. So I think I'm going to do that because you can see that I can shoot anything that's 1 or 2 tiles away from me, and he's obviously right behind me. So if I turn Lara around, I'm going to use my pistols. I'm going to roll 2 of these, and we got a double, which is perfect. So we do 2 damage, which isn't enough to kill it, but if I use 1 of my ammo like that, I can then do 3 damage, which eliminates this wolf, gets him out of my way, and because I defeated the enemy, I also get something from the resource bag, and we got some scrap. Okay, so I still have 4 dice left. Now obviously if I was hidden, shooting my guns would make noise, but because I have been seen, it doesn't really change anything. So let's take these dice and just run for it, shall we? So let's roll these. We've gotten the worst dice roll of all time, so I can only move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not great, but at least I got away. Right, so it's the enemy phase, but let's move the snake first, because in terms of turn order, it's left to right, but then it's also top to bottom. So the snake would go before the wolf. It needs to get to me, so it's going to use 1, 2 to get up, and then 1, 2 to get down over the other side. Next then, the wolf would do a similar thing. It's going to move 1 over there, then 1, 2 to get there, and that's as far as it can go. Okay, the event, again, hopefully it's not spawning another enemy. Oh my god, I did not shuffle these very well, clearly. All right, we got Snaky number 2. Where are you going to live? So he spawned at number 1, so the snake spawns down here facing that way. So I think there's going to be a lot of running in this turn. So let's just roll dice. I think I'm just going to roll all 6. I don't need to do any more stuff. I mean, researching probably wouldn't be a bad shout. But I can probably do that once I'm at safety. So I could also try to hide, Can only be used if there are no enemies on your tile. So there are no enemies on my tile. I could hide. If I need to get 3 in order to successfully hide, and that would solve a lot of my problems. Okay, I think we're going to go for it. So I'm actually going to spend 4 dice here just to be on the safe side. So I roll 4 dice, and I got 1, 2. Oh, that's not quite enough. So I can choose to re-roll with 1 fewer dice. I think we're just going to have to do it. So let's just take the dice away, roll again. Come on, we need to get a 3. Yes, we got 1, 2, 3. Woo! Success, which means we are now successfully hidden. I can change this back to hidden, and now they have no idea where I am, and I can breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, that still cost me the 4 dice though, so I now have 2 dice left in order to get the heck out of dodge. Okay, we get 1, which means we can move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So I'm out of their line of sight. They don't know where I am. We're back in business. All right, I've used all my dice again, so it is the enemy phase. We're going to be starting with the snake. Now, I'm hidden, which means the snake will just do its usual routine. It will move forward 1, 2. It will rotate and move back 1, 2. All right, Wolfie's turn, so he will use 1, 2, 3 to get past the snake, and then 1 over here because he's still facing this way. So they're just going to go on patrol now. And then this snake over here starts facing the pit. Obviously, you can't go that way, so it'll rotate and go 1, rotate, go 2, 3, 4. Okay, event phase. We're getting near the end of the map now. What do we have here? A boulder. So I have 2 options. I can either jump over the boulder but take 3 damage, or I can run, and that will cost me 3 resources and allow me to move 2 spaces. Now, I do have 9 HP, so I might be okay to take the damage. How much does it cost me to heal? I'd need 1 oil and 1 cloth, and I don't have any cloth, but I guess I could still use the resources. So I think it's better to use 2 resources to heal the 3 damage than lose 3 resources. So I will take the damage. So we go down from 9 to 6. And that's the end of that. It's not great, but at least we didn't spawn another enemy. Okay, Lara's turn. So we're just going to keep moving. We're still out of their line of sight, so we need to just basically get out of dodge. I'm going to use all 6 of these dice, see what we get. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 6 from rolling all 6 of the dice. So 12 moves. That's pretty good. So 2 to get up here and 2 to get down. So we're now down to 8 moves. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. And we will end in the corner over here. Right, enemy phase. Wolf is now at the far left, so he's going to turn around and go 1. And he can't really go through this guy, so he's just going to have to turn 90 degrees and go 2, 3, 4. So he didn't have enough actions to move past the snake and get on top of the high ground, which is why he ended up going this way. Snake, however, can continue moving. It uses 2 to get up here and then 2 to get down the other side. And then this snake over here will move 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have enough to go up here, so it'll rotate and go down there. So I'm doing pretty well so far. Let's see what the event is and how it's going to screw me over. We have a dinosaur enemy spawn. So I didn't mention this at the offset. I've included the expansion cards in the event deck as well, which means we now need to spawn a dinosaur. So let's spawn it on number 1. 1's very popular today. So here we have our dinosaur friend, and he's going to spawn on spot number 1. So now we've got a wolf, 2 snakes, and a dinosaur. All right, it's time to get moving. So we are right near the exit. I need to jump the gap, so it will cost me 3 to jump the gap over there, and then I can make my way to the exit. I think we just go all in on movement. We could complete the research before we go. I think maybe we do that first. Let's roll 1 dice for research. We got nothing. Okay, let's roll 1 more. Come on. That's better. All right. So we got 2 cubes, which means we can basically just take 1 of these off and get a bit of research. So research cards are these ones, and you can add 2 actions to any roll. That seems pretty useful. You can have up to 3 of these, so I'm just going to put that on my playboard down there. Right, I've got 4 dice left, so let's use these to move, and we've got 4 plus the 4 from rolling, so 8 in total. We can use 3 to jump across here, so we've got 5 left. Then we can go 1, 2, and we can exit because we have no enemies on the tile. So if we go towards the objectives, we had to collect the artifact, which we already did. We search at least once and research at least once. And then it says obviously down here, if tile 9 has no enemies, then you may escape and collect your reward. Very nice. So our reward is 4 resources, and it says, I stumbled upon a hidden map among the spike pits. It marked the location of a tomb to my east, my next destination. So that's what takes us to the end of chapter 1. So I'll go to my bag, take out my 4 resources. So what do we get? We got 2 scrap, 1 cloth, and 1 treasure. Add that to the pile. Got quite a nice pile of resources now. And that is it for chapter 1. So very nice, complete the first level. We killed a single enemy and we ran away from the rest. I mean, we only have the dual pistols for now, so it will be good in order to, you know, get some better weapons and have some more firepower for the later levels, especially for the bosses. You probably don't want to just run away like I have, because you do need some firepower for the later levels, but we'll see how we get on once we reach it. So I hope you enjoyed that and found that instructional, and I'll catch you on another video soon. Take care.